Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 2010's Jessica Rabbid. 2010's Jessica Rabbid. No, you can't see her nipple here, so it's okay. What a great cover, though. And here is the back. Okay, now that guy right there holding the gun, you might recognize him from some trauma films. And some actual trauma films. Now this film is distributed by Trauma, and I remember picking this up some years ago. It says in the back, they kept her in cage, they raped her, they brutalized her, they made her into an animal. Now she escaped, and she is biting off more than the hand that feeds her. Jessica Rabbid. There's even a quote from Gore Zone magazine on the back. It seems to have captured the retro feel more successfully than Tarantino and Rodriguez with their much-hyped Grindhouse. This is 2010's 82-minute Jessica Rabbid. Well, the interesting thing about Jessica Rabbid is it was distributed by Trauma, but it's not a quote-unquote Trauma film. And the girl right here, the lead girl playing Jessica Rabbid, is Elsie McCain. Now, there's a slideshow of her in here doing like some modeling, some sexy erotic modeling photos, and for a while she had quite the internet presence with just her body and this film and other work she might have been doing, but she had a presence, and I don't really see her around as much anymore. But during this film, she was definitely around, and I'm really looking forward to talking about this movie because this is something very, very, I would say, original and hard hitting and really atmospheric and really something powerful in a way. I mean, for such a low budget film and for a film in our modern era, and the fact that it doesn't feel like a modern film per se. Let's get into Jessica Rabbid. I have some notes here, so you're going to see my eyes divert. Let's get into it. 2010. Jessica Rabbid, low budget, grimy, dirty, shoddy, a ratty 70s, almost Super 8 look. Kind of this shitty 16mm vibe with skips, cuts, jumps that doesn't have the intentional, in a way, the intentional vibe of the film Grindhouse by Rodriguez and Tarantino, which I love. It doesn't have that intentional same type of vibe in the style of it, but it's more used as an artistic choice in the story and the experience of the actual film. Yes, that it's actually utilized within the story and the experience of Jessica Rabbid, not just a stylistic choice like, oh, the film is old, it's supposed to be from the 70s, so on and so forth. So that makes it very, very unique in that way. There are also real clips of public domain materials that are used in the same type of vintage way. Not for a fun Grindhouse experience, but actually as an art tool in the story world. Yes, now that's interesting, isn't it? Now that's interesting, isn't it? Here's something crazy. There's actually a soundtrack CD released for this film. Okay, score and soundtrack, and you can find it on Amazon. I bought it on Amazon recently. The music in here, the score, let's look at the score first. The score is total atmosphere. It's dark, it's oppressive, yet it's European at the same time, using almost Italian giallo-sounding voice work and digital soundscapes. And I believe the actual score composer is also Italian. You can find this as of January 2020. You can find this on Amazon. And I actually purchased it in December, so I haven't checked it in January, but you can find it on CD, hopefully still on Amazon. Music-wise, though, apart from the score, we have death metal and punk, and kind of, it's not just music from death metal and punk, we're actually entering into the worlds of kind of the underground white trash vibe worlds of underground punk, death metal, the beauties of those worlds, and kind of the drugs, fighting, rough, dangerous, I'm not safe worlds of those genres of music, as you're actually seeing the bands in some ways, in some cases, in the film itself. Okay? So that's also quite unique, that the actual music in the film is actually in the film at times. We have abuse, families, incest, the innocence of the retarded, dysfunction, rape, fear, vengeance, murder, torture, anger. This is a disturbing, surreal, experimental, horror, indie, dark, and weird. We have kind of the day in, day out, dangerous people. You know, I'm not going to completely bring it into like the world of Harmony Korine, like specifically his film Gummo. But yes, there's a much more lower budget vibe of kind of the real dangerous, unsafe people spaces of Harmony Korine's films, of a film like Gummo. It has a documentary vibe of it at times, and it has twists, and it has turns. Jessica Rabbid is at times evil, at times brutal, at times sad and lonely and hopeless. It's irredeemable. It's in ways kind of like you feel like it's the essence of horror, the essence of sleaze, the essence of dirty, wrong, messed up. And there's also an artistic quality to it as well. Yes, we have nudity in here. We have disturbing sexual vibes in here, as I've already mentioned, and violence. And this is not a PC type film at all. It's very surprising. I mean, the cover, I love the cover, but the cover does not represent the actual look of the film or even the vibe of the film, okay? This is a rough movie. It's a rough and it's a beautiful, to me, piece of art that feels like you're watching not just an older film, but you're watching a film you shouldn't be watching, but at the same time, it's also a modern film. 2010's Jessica Rabbid, folks. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like this gem from 2010, which you can pick up, I think, very easily. I don't think it ever went beyond DVD. And Troma is still distributing it. I believe it's still in print, so, or you can at least find it used. Please feel free to check out my own personally made films and music by following me on my Vimeo site, www.vimeo.com/poopydiarrhea, POOPYDIARRHEA. And please feel free to check out all my other videos on this 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, and many more to come. Thank you so much, and good night.